Israel's blatant acts of terrorism in Lebanon in the form of exploding electronic devices and airstrikes on a routine basis have left the Lebanese people absolutely horrified. The possibility of a full fledged Israeli invasion of Lebanon does not seem like a far fetched idea. Now, if Israel does indeed materialize this looming invasion, this would not be the first time that Israel has invaded Lebanon. In fact, in the past, Israel has undertaken three major invasions of Lebanon. The most brutal Israeli invasion of Lebanon took place in 1982. The pretext of an Israeli invasion of Lebanon in the present day would obviously be to clamp down on Hezbollah, Israel's adversary in Lebanon. But wait a second, haven't we heard all this Israeli Hezbollah before? What if I told you we have, 42 years back? Back in 1982, Yasser Arafat's PLO was based in Lebanon. Israel cited expunging the PLO from Lebanon as the main reason for invading the country. Israel achieved its objective. The PLO was driven out of Lebanon and moved to Tunisia. So, although Israel was able to drive the PLO out of Lebanon during the invasion, Israel's acts of sheer brutality against the Lebanese people led to the creation of Hezbollah during the invasion. So, even if an Israeli invasion of Lebanon in this day and age leads to the destruction of Hezbollah, chances are that such an invasion would just replace Hezbollah with some other resistance group. The same goes for Hamas in Gaza. That brings us to the original sin, which is the occupation of Palestine. Ending the brutal occupation is the precursor to ending the resistance. Even if Israel hasn't invaded Lebanon yet, it has killed scores of Lebanese people through missile strikes and booby traps. This is all reminiscent of what happened in 1982, when there was rubble all around and people were killed en masse. Among the various atrocities was the Sabra and Shatila massacre. On the receiving end of the massacre were Palestinian refugees and Lebanese civilians in the Sabra and Shatila areas of Beirut. The massacre was carried out by an Israel backed Lebanese Christian militia. Over a span of only 2 days, the militia killed up to 3,500 people. If you're old enough to have witnessed Israel's invasion of Lebanon in 1982, the world today, in 2024, must be filled with immense deja vu. For decades now, Israel has been mass murdering its neighbors with total impunity. The preceding decades also insinuate that mass murderers and war criminals never change. After the 1982 invasion, Joe Biden was present at a private meeting between the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and the Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin. During the meeting, Biden said to the Israeli Prime Minister that he would go even further than Israel and that he would fend off anyone who sought to invade the country, even if that meant killing women and children. Joe Biden is an anti Arab racist to the hilt. If history does justice, he would be remembered as a war criminal, pretty much like Milosevic and Mladic.